It's cold. Even for a man like Kal, who has Kryptonian and Lantern powers, it's still uncomfortable. Seeing a trail of his breath is enough for Kal to seek sanctuary. Although, this planet seems barren. Snow, ice, and frozen trees is all this planet has to offer. Kal doesn't know exactly where he is, other than the fact that he's far enough from Oa to be found. He would have flown farther if the shard that Ganthet gave him didn't glow on his way past this planet. In fact, the shard is still glowing. Kal knows he has to place this shard in soil, yet he sees no soil in sight. He looks around and feels as if this planet was once a beautiful world. The small amount of sunlight that seeps through the cloudy and snowy haze is almost like a data burst of information to Kal. He slowly closes his eyes and embraces the energy of the planet and its sun, feeling it still has a spark of life left. Kal raises his arm and plunges downwards, burying his fist into the ground by his feet, shattering the ice below him and blowing snow into the wind. Soil is revealed only 2 feet beneath the surface. Okay, let's see what you do. Placing the shard in the dirt below, it delivers an ominous hum, as if it was the planet responding to the native item. The shine it produces is so bright it blinds Kal, making him cover his eyes and turn away. The ground beneath him shakes. The ice is shattering in all distances. Cracking and rumbling, massive crystal structures break through the planet's surface, covering Kal and everything else within a mile in all directions. As fast as this all happened, it ended. What seemed to be chaos was quickly quieted down in a shiny, warm sanctuary. Kal walks around the room he finds himself in and doesn't know how to explain what happened, let alone what this even is. Placing his hands on the crystal walls, they're warm to the touch, but as if they're actually producing the heat. The height of this structure is enormous, with the light coming from above, simulating yellow sun energy. Looking back at where he planted the shard, a panel forms. Walking back and taking a look, it has multiple keys with alien language on it. Is this? Believing what he thinks this technology to be, he's interrupted by a shard wall on the other side of the room. It glimmers and shakes, all while seeming to liquefy. Kal, preparing for anything, clenches his fists. Wobbling its way out, the shard wall snaps back into place, returning to its solid state.
Hello, son.
Dumbfounded, Kal doesn't know how to react. His hands go limp, receding from his defensive stance.
I have waited a long time to speak to you. There is much we have to discuss.
Back on Oa, Ganthet resides in a science cell. This prison was constructed to house powerful criminals and threats to the Lantern Corps and the universe. Made from the power of the Guardians, these cells are equipped to depower a Guardian themselves. So Ganthet lies in here, powerless and worried. Worried if the decision he made for Kal was the right one, and worried what Kal will think if he's used the shard and has learned the truth. Flying towards his cell is Arisia, with a tray of food. Placing it through a cell grate opening, Ganthet grabs it and begins to eat.
I see I receive special treatment. My status as an ex-guardian allows me to eat.
Arisia looks sad and upset for Ganthet.
Has any guardian come to talk to you? To explain next steps or what their plan is?
No, the last person they will tell is me. After what happened with Kal, I'm untrusted. I am likely viewed as a traitor to the Council. I've been in here for 2 weeks, and you've been the only face I've seen.
I won't abandon you, Ganthet. You have always been good to me and Kal. What the other guardians have done, hiding the truth from Kal like this, nearly killing him, that is not the Green Lantern way they uphold.
No, it is not. Truthfully, a guardian's purpose goes beyond the Green Lantern's teachings and beliefs. Our purposes are universal level, and they see Kal as a universal concern.
Arisia's alarm for the situation is now heightened. She doesn't know what to say and hopes Ganthet may have some answers.
It's interesting. As a guardian of the universe, with limitless power, hope is an empty construct. There are no logical or plausible outcomes. Yet, being in here, all I feel to do is hope. hope that Kal is okay.
Some time has passed. Kal has grown a beard, and this structure, which Kal now knows to be the Fortress of Solitude, seems to have vastly grown. Finishing another lesson of Kryptonian history, Kal feels enlightened by this knowledge, and happy to be able to put a voice and face to his father. Jor-El may be an artificial intelligence, but all of his memories are from the real Jor-El. And anything this program experiences will react the same way the real Jor-El would react. And because of his lifelike personality and feelings, Jor-El has been pleased to get to know his son. Kal begins to daydream. His thoughts travel through the Fortress of Solitude.
Is there something you wish to ask, Kal?
Kal waits a moment and then looks toward his father. Why did Ganthet wait so long to tell me about this? To tell me about you? I understand not showing me. If the other Guardians knew, there would be trouble. But if I at least knew about you, in a way, I wouldn't have felt so alone. Jor-El sits beside his son.
When the Guardians first activated the shard from your ship, I knew you never made it to Earth and that you would have a different journey ahead of you. They explained the desire to guard you and to shelter you from the power and temptation. This also meant hiding this truth from you. The older you got, they wanted to see who you would become, and eventually they would reveal this. Me. To you. 8 years passed, and I was told Zod made his way to Earth and the atrocities he committed. They were scared from that point on. The power of a Kryptonian under a yellow sun, our civilization's reputation of war and conflict, our conquering nature, the fact that you bathed under a yellow sun all this time, along with the energy of a Green Lantern. You have a property of the universe residing within your cells. You have become much more powerful than I would have ever imagined, Kal. And they knew that too.
If that's the case, why didn't they shield me from this energy? Why risk me becoming what Zod became?
They knew it was too late to reverse the power you had received, even at the age of 8. I imagine you were to be their last line of defense. You would be used if all went wrong. Possibly if Zod came to Oa and the Lanterns failed as they did before, there's a chance you wouldn't. I assume they sheltered you on Oa to make sure no outsider could influence you to do something they feared you might do.
Jor-El stands and brings Kal along with him, a walk through a hall in the Fortress of Solitude.
There came a time where the Guardians stopped relaying information to me and nearly shunned Ganthet. From anything that would have to do with you. They knew Ganthet and I thought differently. We wanted you to know the truth. We wanted you to embrace your power. Unfortunately, that was not possible. Ganthet would periodically return to the fortress that the shard created on Oa to provide me information about you. I was curious how you were growing and wanted to make sure you were okay.
Even though his father is not technically real, he's real enough for Kal to smile and realize he is still a semblance of a father who cares for him.
Not long ago, Ganthet returned to me and made it known something was changing, that you could feel something was different. The battery in the middle of Oa called to you. He was preparing to tell you the truth, even though he knew everything would change. Ganthet cares for you, the way I care for you. It was a sacrifice he was willing to make.
One of the shard walls open, revealing something behind it. Kal's eyes are trained on it. He likes what he sees, but wonders why it's being shown to him.
The symbol of our household. This is who you were to become. The power you hold is precious and rare. What you decide to do with it is up to you. You could be a savior to people and uphold the ideals of the House of El and the Green Lantern Corps, or you could be a conqueror, following the path of our people and repeating the mistakes of the past. Zod has doomed Earth with the sins of Krypton. You could cleanse us of our faults and bring a new light to being a Kryptonian. What you could accomplish, the wonders you could achieve, even my programming can't calculate that.
Kal shares a very sincere moment with his father, although it doesn't last too long. Jor-El turns from the item they were looking at and stares at Kal with importance.
Now that enough time has passed, there's something Ganthet needs you to know. There's danger you must deal with.
Arisia stands amongst the Guardians in the council chambers, the same chambers that faced destruction from the poor decision to strip Kal-El of his powers. Looking at her surroundings, even months later, she can still see pieces of damage from that night, The Guardians are speaking to her, but the noise and words are being drowned out. Her annoyance and anger towards the Guardians for doing what they did to Kal and Ganthet is getting to her.
Please don't do this! I can't! Ah!
But she fights her emotions and puts on a brave face for the Guardians. That way she avoids any possible punishment. That's the last thing Ganthet would need right now. A Guardian waves their hand. The floor beneath her starts to levitate downwards, heading back to the surface level of the city. Arisia's attempt to get Ganthet released from the science cells has failed. They will not listen. This is not good. Arisia and Ganthet need to figure something out. Arisia has another visit with Ganthet. He's looking gruffer and is growing a thick beard.
I assume the conversation did not go your way?
They won't see reason. They deny your fact of the threat on Corar. They won't even acknowledge how long Kilowog and Tomar-Re have been there. They're acting like this mission is ordinary.
Precisely the problem. It's an act. They know the real threat hides in Sinestro's sector. We're a secretive group. These are not details someone like you should know. They are concerned if more lanterns knew the real threat, what would happen. I can't say I blame them.
With Jor-El telling Kal, will that be enough? Is he truly powerful enough for this?
I truly don't know. But he is unique. Not just the fact that he has two different power strands, but his personality is important. He's a natural-born leader whose belief can lead him to victories that would leave many to falter.
I know you've always advocated for Kal. How can they not see what you see?
Some did, but even that is not enough to take action. We're guardians. It's hard to change when you're billions of years old.
Ganthet gets Arisia to smile and laugh, breaking off what seems to be a bleak situation. Arisia starts to discuss further options to get Ganthet out of the science cells, explaining that the chances are slim, but expressing the no harm in trying mentality. Although, Ganthet's eyes widen as if he's experienced a revelation.
I know most lanterns are on your side. I could get them to advocate for your—
Arisia, I know what we can do, and it will work. We will just have to commit treason.
Civil war has broken out on Corar. One half of the citizens don't expect the help of outsiders, and the other half does. Keeping the order on Corar has always been difficult, even before a Green Lantern made their presence known to the people of this planet. Sinestro has had many problems with his homeworld species, but nothing that amounts to this. The revolutionists against the Lanterns call themselves Osnagreb, named after their largest sea. They believe to have found something buried deep, so far beneath the surface and apparently so powerful that if they utilize it, the Green Lantern Corps will suffer the after effects. Trying to defuse the start of this civil war, it resulted in 2 Green Lantern deaths from the hands of the Osnagreb. Sinestro, Abin Sur, Kilowog, and Tomar-Re have joined this war in the attempt to end it and to find this mysterious weapon before the Osnagreb do. The city has become the center of the battleground. Engaged in battle, the Green Lanterns fight for the citizens of Corar City to retreat to safety.
Drive them back, Kilowog. Tomar and Abin will assist the civilians.
Buildings crumble with Tomar and Abin holding them up so the people below don't get crushed. But even what they're doing to help is not enough to save everyone. Explosions, weapon fire, collapsing buildings, the screams of innocence. It's pure chaos and destruction. The Coragarian people are much more advanced than other civilizations. The Osnagreb unleashes a laser guidance system. Small drone-like devices that can shoot from miles away with near pinpoint accuracy and enough power to saw off a body part. This is how the other 2 lanterns previously died. They let their guard and concentration down, allowing themselves to be compromised. The lasers sawed their hands off, the hands in which was utilizing the ring, which allowed the Osnagreb to kill them. Through the foggy skies hovering over the city and stretching to the sea, multiple drone lasers begin to fire. The lanterns become concerned since they've seen what those weapons can do. Even though their guard and concentration are up, they'd rather not risk getting hit. Sinestro, Kilowog, Abin, and Tomar all come together to form a dome around the city to avoid the drone's laser fire. Although, they won't need to hold it for long. They hear a loud sonic boom that crashes down into the atmosphere. Whoever or whatever is moving so fast is slightly seen through the fog, destroying the drones in the far distance. Massive explosions are seen, big enough to belong from a whole depot of the Oznagreb's weapon supply. Wondering who came down from the sky behind enemy lines, they drop the dome around the city. Things have strangely quieted down, other than the occasional sound of people below running out of the city. Slowly creeping out of the fog in front of them is a man floating, with a cape flowing in the wind and an outline of green surrounding his body like an ordinary Green Lantern would have. Looked like you guys could use some help. All 4 lanterns appear to be shocked, especially Kilowog and Tomar Ray, since the last time they saw him, he was upset about not having a ring.
Kal? When did this happen?
This is fantastic. It finally happened for you.
Being such good friends, Kilowog and Tomar go in for a hug while continuing to congratulate him. Abin Sur approaches Kal and shakes his hand.
Congratulations, Kal. This is well deserved.
Thank you, Abin. It feels good. Sinestro hangs back and looks at Kal suspiciously. He's never liked that a Kryptonian would one day earn the power of a ring, just a power trip that Sinestro displays.
Why are you wearing a cape? And where is the ring on your finger? How do you have the power of will with no ring?
What's with the giant S on your chest too? I mean, I'm not complaining, you look cool, but it's different than usual.
It's a long story, but turns out I already had the power of the ring inside my cells this whole time. Solar radiation from the sun of Oa and the light from the battery. Mix those 2 things together and you get 2 sets of powers. Sinestro looks angry, almost jealous that Kal has power that other lanterns don't have. I don't need a ring to utilize the power since it's within me. Ganthet helped me unlock my true potential. Speaking of which, that's why I'm here. The situation is desperate.
You don't say. We've been here for months trying to calm this storm. The Guardians have denied our request for backup and instead send you. If you are here to help, we're going to need more than what we already know.
Enough, Sinestro! This is not Kal's fault. I know this is your homeworld, but taking your frustration on others won't help our situation.
Sinestro and Abin Sur begin to argue about the situation at hand. This becomes less of a jealousy or a dislike of Kal, and more about the state of the planet. Since Sinestro has become the protector of this sector, he has tried to place a siege and segregation order over the planet. Considering this is how he would try to protect his homeworld, it's no wonder there is a civil war on. The Guardians tried to kill me. That outburst gains the attention of the 4 lanterns. All of them freeze, not knowing how to respond. Like I said, long story, but that's why I'm here. I can only assume Ganthet is imprisoned for helping me escape, although Ganthet's information is why I'm here. The Guardians are hiding the real threat, the power source the Oznagreb found beneath the sea. It's a yellow battery. The mood has changed. The importance of this mission has become much more dire than it was before. It's not an ordinary battery. It's been used as a prison to house the entity of fear, Parallax. Of all threats the Green Lantern Corps have had to encounter, this tops them all. If not contained properly, this will be a universal threat. Kal, Kilowog, Tomar Ray, Abin Sur, and Sinestro have to pick up the pace. Pushing their way through the fog and across the sea, the lanterns fight all Oznagreb in their way. Kal is fighting with a determination and skill that you would only see from a seasoned veteran, such as Abin Sur. Making their way to a massive mining operation, the Oznagreb have dug deep beneath the seabed. This is of course the heaviest defense they have. Kilowog and Tomar Ray stay behind to take on the Oznagreb fighters, while Kal, Sinestro, and Abin Sur fight their way to the bottom, leagues beneath the sea. Surrounding themselves in a green layer to breathe underneath the water, they begin to cut through a metal dome. A dome in which they believe is protecting the yellow battery within the rocky surroundings submerged by water.
I'm through. Let's go.
Inside of this dome is a cave that has somehow been untouched by the water, keeping itself dry. Lying in the middle of the cave is the yellow battery. Thousands of years of isolation, if not more, and yet it looks in pristine condition. How it got here is a secret held by the Guardians. A secret Ganthet didn't even unveil to Kal. All he knows is the importance of the battery's containment. Kal, Abin, Sinestro, they feel some discomfort, almost as if they're feeling an emotion completely opposite of what they uphold. Loud rumbles with a deep, distorted voice sounds to be coming from the battery. Trying to listen to it, Sinestro gets drawn to it a little more than the others. Kal has seen this behavior before, in himself. He once looked at the green battery this way, albeit for different reasons. A Green Lantern should not be appearing to be so lustful for the power of fear.
Sinestro!
Kal puts his hand out and uses his green energy to shield the battery. Abin pulls Sinestro back. Feeling a little embarrassed, but still intrigued, he intensely stares at the battery from behind Kal and Abin. The battery begins to shake. Yellow blasts begin to shoot out of the battery, penetrating Kal's green shield. Abin and Sinestro assist Kal, not knowing what to expect. The Guardians have come to Ganthet's cell for the first time in months. This visit is to pass their final judgment. Ganthet has expected this visit, he just didn't know when it would happen. He patiently sits at the front of his cell, meditating, waiting for his chance to speak. All the prisoners in the science cells peer their heads as much as they can to observe such an important event. Will mercy be taken? Will there be an understanding? Will they decide to banish Ganthet, or will it be eternal imprisonment?
Too much time has been wasted. We denied the threat for too long. I did what I had to do. What we all should have done the day Kal-El landed on Oa. Prepared him for greatness. Instead, we hid the truth from him. I fixed our mistake by unveiling his true power, but our oath is broken. And I will mend our broken ways.
Ganthet bursts into a large blast of green light, vanishing in plain sight. Every single prisoner in the science cells disappears the exact same way Ganthet did. This is all of Arisia's doing, performing an ability that not many lanterns know how to perform. Illusion casting. So simultaneous and realistic, there is no shred of a doubt. Arisia didn't just illusion cast Ganthet, she is responsible for the illusion casts of every prisoner in the science cells. The bright lights caused by the destruction of the illusions temporarily blind the Guardians.
Now!
A platoon of lanterns come from all corners of the facility and lock the Guardians inside of a containment shield, barricaded to max potential. Just in case one or many of them regain their sight and defend themselves, their power is dangerous. Multiple cells slide open behind the blinded Guardians. Ganthet walks through the Green Lantern shield and, using as much might as possible, blasts the 11 Guardians into the cells, locking them up and diminishing their powers. Ganthet stands in front of them with his hands behind his back, victorious. Arisia joins him to his side with a multitude of other lanterns who cooperated and sided with Ganthet.
I spent my time in here learning the harsh reality of who we became, what we are. We became guardians of truth and knowledge instead of guardians of the universe. I see now that our order must be rethought and
Ganthet, what's wrong?
Ganthet drops to the floor, grabbing his head and screaming in pain. Arisia tries to see what's wrong, but there's nothing she can do to help. Across an ocean of stars, the worst thing that could have happened has happened. Parallax. There is a strange silence around the mining facility. Kilowog and Tomar-Ray have defeated all of the Osnagreb in sight, but that's not what's throwing them off. The water surrounding them is calm. It's too calm. Suddenly, the entire mining rig gets engulfed from below. A tsunami-like wave erupts from below with the bright yellow entity Parallax spiraling out of the water.
At last, I've emerged from my eternal imprisonment. This world reeks of fear.
Wiping off what seems to be a grim smile from Parallax is Kal, emerging from the ocean below, wasting no time, and whipping the entity with green asteroid projections.
You, the one who released me, you seem different.
The combined effort of Kal, Abin, Sinestro, Kilowog, and Tomar is simply not enough. Not only is the serpent-shaped entity fast and slippery, but his omnipotence keeps them from holding him down and wounding the creature. As Parallax flies around making them look foolish, he taunts their attempts.
I am fear, the conjuring pull to dread and terror. Each one of you battling me will do so to their death if I so desire. You are all weak. The power of will is of a side. It shadows within its true nature. I can feel it within you. Smell it.
This has not been a fair fight. It has not been a fight at all. The Lanterns can't seem to do much of anything to Parallax, even Kal with all of his power.
You challenge my power, but all it does is show me your true fear. This moment, you are agents to my cause.
Parallax rushes towards Kal and wraps around him like a snake, squeezing tightly. The rest of the Lanterns create other structures that wrap around the entity to try and pull him off of Kal.
You are an outlier, Kal-El, son of Krypton. You are not afraid. You are powerful. The Guardians. The Guardians.
Parallax blasts into the sky and off the planet of Corar. We can't let him escape! The Lanterns follow in behind, although not capable of flying at the speed of Parallax. Being a Kryptonian Green Lantern, however, Kal can fly a little bit faster. He leaves his Lantern friends behind to try and catch up to Parallax before it's too late. Ganthet is still on the floor, recovering from the disturbance he felt from the escape of Parallax. Suddenly, a violent crack is heard, and the sky over Oa darkens.
It's here.